Yo, this is Rick Mahorn, the bad boy, giving a shout out to my man Drew, Detroit Drew. Make sure you tune in on his YouTube channel, Detroit Drew. Bad boy. Ready? Detroit Drew. Detroit Drew.
Yo, peeps, what's going on? Happy Saturday, man, and welcome back to Above the Rim with the DSA. And we got a good one for you guys today. There's so much to talk about and so less time to do it in. So, without further ado, let's hop right into it. We got some people in the comments. We'll give you guys your shout out here in a second. Jamo will be on in about 15 minutes or so, but let's introduce you guys to the panel as of right now. First up, we have our scouting expert and our own personal doctor, Bravo. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How is everybody doing? It's a nice Saturday, one of the end of August days. Looking forward for September, and things are getting better already.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last but certainly not least, we have a special guest on today. Big Mike, how you doing today, man?
Doing great. How are you, Drew?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Ready to talk some Detroit Pistons here.
Same here, man. Just having a great Saturday. Looking forward to talking some Detroit basketball, man. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Bravo, can you go ahead and give the peeps a shout out in the comments?
All right. So I'll give you a shout out for everyone. Shout out to Micah. Micah's Games Takeover. Blue. We got blue and silver Phantom in the game in here. Basketball Griot in here. We got a shout out to Muhammad whatever his name is. I got a shout out to King Lion. Get a shout out to Stephen Ibera and Big Mike.
Absolutely, man. Make sure you guys come in and like the video. Check out the description. We are live here on the DSA channel, and we are live here on Detroit Drew's channel, and we are live here today via Periscope and Twitter. So make sure wherever you guys are, you leave it a like. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're watching this over on Twitter, be sure to retweet it and follow me over there as well. But before we hop into our normal show, we have to go ahead and pay our respects to former Detroit Piston Cliff Robertson, who passed away the other day. It is quite sad. And in a short amount of time, we lost the Black Panther and a former Detroit Piston. So it's sad. Thoughts and prayers go out to them. Big Mike, man, did you have any stories you wanted to tell either about Cliff Robinson or Chadwick Boseman?
I didn't know that much about Cliff. Can't really say that much about him. I'm sorry for his family. May you rest in peace. Chadwick, I watched a lot of his movies. I'm a big Black Panther fan. He did a really good job in Jackie Robinson, and just a really phenomenal actor. I'm sorry that he had to pass or something.
Yeah, definitely sad. 2020 has been one of the worst years, and when you get stuff like this, it doesn't make it any easier. Bravo, man. How about yourself, man? You got anything to say on the passing of Cliff Robinson and Chadwick Boseman?
Man, it's a very disappointing day, man. It's just so bad that we lost a guy like him, Black Panther guy, and he's one of the really nice. He looks like an athletic person too. He's really I'm surprised how he ended up with a colon cancer, and I heard the story. It was like a stage 4, so it was it went up all over his body, and it got really bad. And I seen his picture also. He lost a lot of weight during that fight against the cancer, but it looks like he didn't last too long because it looked like an aggressive cancer to me. But really disappointing. It's really sorry, and I have seen these cases before. It just sucks. Hey, Muhammad Al-Hamadi. Okay, all right, we got it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, welcome to Detroit Drew's world, where you gotta fake pronounce names because I'm the worst at it. So now you feel my pain, Bravo. Now you feel my pain. All right, man. You know, we don't want to kill the vibe, you guys, too much. We're trying to take you guys' minds off of this and bring you guys some fun, entertaining content. So let's hop right into the Detroit Pistons. So Bleacher Report now is going through with each individual draft prospect. telling you where they'll be projected to fall or go in the NBA draft this year. And one of the ones that I talked about yesterday that I seen the other day was Denny Avila saying he'll go anywhere between 4 through 8, and that his worst landing spot is the Detroit Pistons. And Bravo, I know you probably know more about Denny than the rest of us, but would the Detroit Pistons be the worst spot for him in this year's draft?
I don't think so. I don't think you can call Avdia as the worst spot in any team, pretty much. I think he's one of those guys. He's going to blend into any team you can draft him in. He's an all-around player. He can play 1 through 4. Um, I could see him struggling if he plays small forward, or maybe like a shooting guard here, because we have a plenty of shooting guard, and we don't have a point guard. But you bring you bring Avdia here. If we get a chance to, you play him as like a power point forward. You play him like a Blake kind of game. I don't know if Blake is going to be healthy, but this guy can take over and he can play like partly point guard with him, maybe, and Bruce Brown and D Rose. Maybe I think he can. He's got a lot of stuff in here, and he can improve. And I think so every day we're seeing those European guys, some of them in the top 10, they seem to be like turning really impressive, especially in the top 5 European players, like we've seen before, Luka. And I don't really want to miss like a chance. If he drops to us, we shouldn't really be just not consider him. I think we should take a strong look at him in that position if he drops. And I think he's going to be probably a good fit anywhere. Like I mentioned in the NBA, he's a really solid player. The question is if he's going to really able to play a point guard in here. I think he can. Why not?
But do you think that it'll be the worst spot for him to go in this draft?
No, I don't think so. I think he can still fit. And we need wings. We need also point guard. We need secondary playmakers. I think he's still good. I don't think it's a worst spot by any means. I could see other teams like worse spots than him. I think the Knicks are probably a worse spot than us because they don't have a lot of. I think I don't know, to be honest. I mean, there's no really specific worse spot for Denny because I remember he's really like a excellent team player.
Yeah, I'd probably say out of the panel, at least especially when JMO gets in, I'm probably like the least high on Denny as you two guys are. Which I'm not knocking the guy, but the Pistons would not be the worst spot for him. Like I think you got a good point there about the Knicks, where they don't really have any stability. The Pistons eventually will make him work into whatever they're trying to do. Like you said, we need a small forward, man. We do not have a small forward that Dwayne Casey wants to play at a consistent rate, other than Tony Snell. Which I mean, nothing bad about Tony, but he really shouldn't be a starting 3. That being said, Danny comes in, he can play the 3 here. He can also play 1 through 3, so he's very versatile. Offensively, he's going to be a great shooter, playmaker for us. He's a sneaky good defender. I think that the Pistons would take him at 7. If he falls to 7, it will be a good pick to pick him at, but it won't be reaching, and he definitely won't be the worst spot. So I don't know why they picked us. I think New York has a way, way worse of a chance of being a landing spot for him because who's he got to play with? I think that Detroit has one of the best rosters right now for a young point guard to go to, or someone who could play like Denny. Like you're gonna be throwing him in there with Luke Kennard and Mahai Luke. So you're gonna have 3 guys out there at the time that can all shoot from downtown, stretch the offense out or stretch the defense out. Plus, if you close out on him, he's a great secondary ball handler. So if you got Derrick Rose out there, it's gonna be a small lineup, but it can work. Offensively, he would make the Pistons a way better team and give us something that we haven't had since Mark Aguirre, and that's a reliable wing scorer at the 3 position. So, Big Mike, man, what about you, man? Do you think that the Detroit Pistons are the worst landing spot for Denny Avila?
Absolutely not. I think it's probably one of the best landing spots. I think a lot of young players in the draft would actually do great as a Piston, and he's one of them. Like you said, we have one of the best young cores in Luke Kennard, Steve McKayla. I think he'll thrive, So.
Benfo said, Drew, what do you know about Nirvana, young dude? Hey, Nirvana's like one of my favorite bands of all time. I don't just wear it to be the trend. This is my kind of music right here, man. I know all their songs. So maybe young compared to you, but this is my jam. Let's see here. So also from Bleacher Report, they went ahead and told us who the Detroit Pistons would be the best landing spot for, and that was none other than point guard Killian Hayes. Now, Killian Hayes, in my opinion, right now, should be the Detroit Pistons' #1 target in this year's NBA draft after falling to 7. I think that if he's there at 7, the Pistons will be happy, he'll be happy, and it'll be a perfect match. So, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and throw this one to you first. Do you think that the Detroit Pistons and the Killian Hayes experiment would be a perfect fit?
Absolutely. I think he's one of the best all-around players in this draft. I actually don't think he's that far behind LaMelo if we talk about talented-wise as one of talented prospects. That's just me, but he just can handle the ball. He's been playing overseas for 3 years, very young, and I think he has the drive to be great.
Absolutely. We are now being joined by Pistons Talk, man. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him. He just hit 300 the other day, so congrats on 300, man. Keep grinding. You'll get up there, man. You got a great channel. If you guys have not subbed to him, go sub to him. But how you doing today, Pistons Talk?
Pretty good. Sorry I'm late. I was eating dinner.
Hey, if there's a good excuse to be late, it's food. So we're going to go ahead and give you the pass.
All right.
Your punishment, however, will be thrown right into the fire.
All right.
So Bleacher Report went on to say that Killian Hayes would be the perfect fit with the Detroit Pistons. What are your takeaways from that one?
100% agree. I think he fits the Detroit Pistons well. I think if he falls to 7, they're going to draft him. I think you need a point guard in this draft, and you need a point guard of the future to build around. Derrick Rose has 1 more year in his contract. 100% agree with Bleacher Report, and that's actually kind of rare, isn't it?
Hey, tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. They have waves. There'll be a time like I think it was right at the beginning of quarantine. They were coming out with some good stuff for the Pistons, and it's like all of a sudden stuff's starting to open up. Things are starting to get somewhat normal, and it's like, oh, there they go. They're back to talking stupid about the Pistons, and then they give you something good like this. So it's like, all right, hey, you can't be mad at them all the time, even though I try my best to. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure you guys like the video coming in here. Bravo, man. What are your thoughts about this one, that Killian Hayes and the Detroit Pistons would be a perfect or a best fit?
Oh, definitely, 100%. I think he's right now on my top board. He is #1 spot right now because I don't think Melo's falling. So I think I'm taking him all over every day. He's my best player in the draft right now for us, that mocks us, and I think he's a great fit for us. The question is whether he's going to be available or not. That's the biggest question. I really want us to draft him, and I think he's the guy that's supposed to be really a good player for the future, I think. But we will see. We'll see how the draft goes, and we'll see how things play in the draft. Hopefully, we'll be lucky.
Alan Humphrey says, I'm here watching Above the Rim while grilling. I am not that multitaskable. I don't know if that's the right word or not. But, man, we appreciate you listening, man. Hopefully that food comes out perfectly, and we won't see you on Hell's Kitchen getting yelled at anytime soon. So have fun grilling, man. I can smell it from here. It smells amazing. My takeaway from this one, man, like I said, Killian should be the Pistons' #1 target right now going into this thing. So if he's there at 7, it should be a no-brainer. Unless there's someone else that we thought wouldn't be there at 7 is there, that would really only be like the kind of hesitation I would have. Rather than that, if he's there at 7, I think they're right. It's best case scenario, the best fit for him. He's going to come in here and have Derrick Rose to learn from for at least a year. What they want to do next season with Derrick Rose, it's up to them, but that 1 year could be very crucial. And I think now that Dwayne Casey is going to be in a different mindset, because the last couple of years, it's been kind of get back to the playoffs where we maybe should have tried to rebuild sooner since we had a new coach. But now that we are in the rebuild, Dwayne Casey doesn't have to coach a certain way. He can coach different, let the young guys learn. I think that he's still going to be strict on the guys and stuff like that, but he's going to take a different approach to it this year. And I think someone like Killian Hayes, that if he did go ahead and draft, he's got his point guard of the future. We've seen what he did with Kyle Lowry when Kyle Lowry got traded to them. He turned him into an all-star after many thought he was going to be a up-and-down player, maybe even a bust. And then he helped Fred VanVleet turn into what he is now, and that's a scoring machine who a lot of Pistons fans want to sign in free agency. We're not going to touch on that one today. We're not touching on that one today. So I think that best coach available for him, best assets for him in return. I think that this would be a match made in heaven, and maybe this would put the draft lottery night into a whole different point of view. When we were so disappointed to end up with a player like Killian out of all this, we need it. We need this. So, yeah, I'm happy with Bleacher Report for once. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Do you guys think that would be a good fit? Yay or nay? So we haven't said anything controversial yet. It is Free Smoke Saturday. So let's go ahead and talk some controversy here. Former Detroit Piston Grant Hill talked a little bit about his playing days before he got hurt and how potentially he could have been better than Michael Jordan. Now, before we just start picking this apart, fellas, because Pistons Talk, I know you like Grant Hill. I see you rock that jersey all the time. Before you guys call him crazy, you have to go back and watch some Grant Hill games. Not just highlights, but games. This guy was taking the league by storm. He potentially was going to be the greatest Detroit Piston of all time. The guy could do it all. If it wasn't for an injury, you'd be talking about Grant Hill in a whole new light. Now, would he be better than MJ? I can't say that, but he was one of the big reasons we see point forwards now. He was one guy who could take the ball from one end, push it, pass, score, draw a foul, anything. Great defender, very athletic. Pistons Talk. Do you think Grant Hill was right in assuming if he never got injured that he could have been better than Michael Jordan?
I don't know better, but he would probably be on some people's Mount Rushmores if he didn't get hurt. I think when you talk about Grant Hill, he was putting up LeBron James type stats before LeBron was even around. I mean, this guy could get you like 25 points, 10 rebounds, and like 8 assists nightly before he got injured.
Yeah.
Just like talking about Grant Hill, and I'm getting off topic, but man, he had the slowest crossover you will ever watch, man.
But it worked. It worked.
So damn slow, but he was so quick with his first step, man. I think, yeah, he could have been in the same conversation as the GOAT for Grant Hill if he didn't get injured.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I don't know if he would have had enough, but he might have surpassed a Magic or a Larry Bird and been in the conversation with him. I mean, the things that he was doing back then, it's a lot more common now. He was way ahead of his time. I mean, this guy was fantastic. Big Mike, man, what about you, man? I don't know how much of a Grant Hill fan you are, but what do you think about his comments saying if he never got injured, he could have been better than Michael Jordan?
I don't know about better, but he probably would have been up there as go down as one of the greats, So.
Right. I'm right there with you too, man. Bravo, man. I don't think you were a Pistons fan back then.
No.
But what do you think about this, man? What do you think about Grant Hill saying he potentially could have been better than the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan?
Man, I like this guy. Really watched his films, and Grant Hill was one of the most impressive players for the Pistons I've watched probably in my life. If you ask me, he's I've seen his highlights, dunks, crossovers, in lane, and one. There's a lot of and one with him. Man, I haven't really seen most impressive player. I think he might be the best player I've seen on videos for the Pistons and myself. Because even the 2004, they have a really nice team, but I think he is probably really good, and because he's really talented player too. I remember him very well. So is he really I think he's just trying to get the heat, and he is definitely in the candidate for a great player for the Piston. He's not better than MJ. I'm sorry about that, but I think I see his point because I like that what he said because he's a Piston and he's trying to really say the right thing. So I definitely respect him what he said.
All right, let's go into some trade rumors here. I just seen this one, but we'll be talking about the Pacers a little bit more at the end of the show, especially when Jamo gets here. I'm saving that one for Jamo when he shows up. But the Pacers went ahead and fired their coach, Nate McMillan, and now there are some reports out there that they might look to rebuild, which would mean they would put Victor Oladipo on the trade block. Now, we do have a couple of young guards here, but they are not an all-star like Victor Oladipo. So if the Pacers do go ahead and make that route where they would put, Miles Turner, Sabonis, and Oladipo on the trade block, are there any one of those guys you'd be willing to trade for? Obviously, I'd hop over the Victor Oladipo one. Pistons Talk, I'm going to start with you. If that's the route the Pacers are going to go, what player did you want, and what would you be willing to give up?
I would probably go in the opposite direction. I probably want Sabonis because I think he's one of the most underrated bigs that we have in our league. And I know power forward is probably not the most popular choice, but you can't deny what the talent is. For me, like with the Nate McMillan firing, I'm not really surprised by it. Apparently, they want to do a more fast-paced offense, and they're going to try to target Mike D'Antoni when his contract's up with Houston. But I don't know, man. Like you said, you could target a lot of these players because they're going to reevaluate all the talent. Like you said, Oladipo, Miles Turner, bonus. Like if you want to go Oladipo, yeah, I mean, you're going to have to give up probably all your guards and a couple draft picks for it. But
well, my thought to you would be then, are those players worth it? Because I know for majority of Pistons fans, we want to see something big happen this offseason. Yeah. And getting a player like one of those guys, because Sabonis was an all-star last year as well. I mean, what would you be willing to give? Like, would you have to give up a Luke Kennard? I mean, we'd have to give up something back to get return, especially if we're going after a Victor Oladipo.
Shit, man, you could do a sign and trade with Christian Wood. Like, honestly, I don't even think you'd really have to give up that much for Sabonis, in my opinion.
Absolutely, man. I'm with this talk because I like Sabonis and I like Victor Oladipo. 313 Jimbo, man. Welcome to the show. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm all right.
Let's get you involved because I know these are some of your boys over there in Indiana. But with the recent firing of Nate McMillan, there have been several reports that they might look to rebuild, which would mean they would put Miles Turner, Sabonis, and Victor Oladipo on the trade block. J-Mo, man, which of those three would you be willing to trade for and give up and to get in return?
None of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want any of them.
Period. He's gonna say period.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. What about you, Bravo man? Is any one of those group that you'd be willing to take?
I don't think they fit our timeline, and we're going through like a rebuild. But the only question would be interesting to see what you would give up to get Victor Oladipo, because I'm hearing a lot of rumors. I'm hearing that he is going to be just basically lowballed, easily traded for low return assets. And you would be interested to see what kind of trade package. Like, hey, I throw shades at Andre Drummond. Maybe we could get him for a really low, cheap deal off the Pacers. I don't know if he's the right guy, but I think it all depends on exactly what we are really getting in him in return. If I'm putting, what's up?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, if we're giving like a guy like Oladipo just for cap space, man, I think about it. I mean, because he's at 20. Look at him. His contract is $21 million this year, $21 million next year. You will see the Pacers just traded him for cap space. Would you be taking $21 million for Victor Oladipo, or you want to sign Fred VanVleet? I take Oladipo in this case, if you ask me. I mean, even if he does not fit our timeline, but I think if you get him this cheap, a star player, like for just a cap space alone, I'd consider it. But I don't know if they would be willing to do something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting conversation because look, I like Oladipo, but he gets hurt too much to me, and I'm just a little bit unsure about him. But he's still working his way back. But yeah, I don't want Oladipo. Sabonis is a great player, but what do I want him for? Miles Turner is solid, but what do I want him for? And the way I feel like is I'm tired of taking other teams' scraps, and I like Vic. If Pistons trade for Vic, you won't see me mad at all. But I'm tired of taking other teams' scraps, man. Like, I want to build our stars and try to take other people's. And if I take other people's stars, it has to be a young player in year 2, in year 3, in year 4 that hasn't been paid yet, or their contract is a little bit different. Because I'll take D'Lo over him because D'Lo is healthy. And he's a little, I would take him, but I don't know. I feel like I like Vic. I really do. Like, I really like him as a player and as a person, but I don't know if he's ever going to be that same player again. And if he is, it's not going to be next year, maybe the year after. But if I'm paying 20, I feel like we're paying for what he did in the past. And like I said, we get Vic. You won't see me upset because I really like him as a player. But like I just like Bravo said, I think he hit the nail on the head. He doesn't fit our timeline, and he's $21 million. Like I said, I want to build my stars. If I'm paying for a star, he got to be a young guy that I know I can build with. Other than that, I'm just gonna stand pat. And I like Sabonis too. It's not like I don't. I like all of them as players, but like I'm just asking for people who want these guys. Like why? Like what like are we supposed to be rebuilding, right? We're not trying to win anything according to everyone. So why would we go out and get good players? I don't mean to say it like that, but I'm saying it like that. You're supposed to build your team the old fashioned way.
It's
supposed to build your team the old fashioned way. And Pistons have been doing that.
Yeah, I think it's just about the opportunity. The question is, can you get
opportunity for what?
Oladipo for free for just cap space? Would you consider it?
What do you mean Oladipo for free? How does he
get him
just he got a $21 million contract? How is he free?
Okay, we just absorb his contract for free, just like the Cavs did with Andre Drummond. In return for expiring, we give them Tony Snell and we give them another expiring. Let's say whoever.
But don't we have to pay Oladipo?
He's gonna walk and go to Miami anyways. I mean, that's where he's gonna end up. I mean, he's got a house there. That's where he rehabbed. He's gonna be in Miami.
Yeah, and you're trying to. Yeah, but see, that's my thing. I don't disagree with you about the expiring contracts, but y'all act like we got money problems. Why are we trying to move expiring contract? We don't have money issues. Usually teams do that to like free up cap space. You know, Andre Drummond leaving has been a blessing and a curse. It's a curse because how the hell you let him walk away, but it's a blessing because now you have so much money to play with to where the flexibility is at a point where you don't have to do things like get rid of expiring contracts, Tony Snell. But look, if you want to get rid of Tony Snell or Victor Oladipo, you will not see me upset. You will not see me combat you. But, you know, I see what you're saying, but, like, why are we getting rid of the expiring contracts?
Because the Pacers are willing to get rid of the contract of Oladipo for free at this point. I think they might be willing to do that. I don't know.
I just don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, 1 year of Victor Oladipo, and we supposed to be drafting a point guard. What about him? What about Luke and Bruce? What about our young guards? You know, for a 1 year rental of Oladipo, like what that's gonna do? Only thing that's gonna do is slow down the timeline. Like bringing somebody like Derrick Rose there, is different because he knows his role at this point. He's a veteran player, so he knows his role. So he's just gonna do his role. Like the one thing I loved about Derrick Rose is I didn't know how he was gonna come here and play, but that man will come off the bench for any point guard, even if he better than them. Just because, of course, he wants to start like everybody, just because that's the type of player he is. So 1 year rental for Oladipo to, you know, stunt the growth of the rest of our point guards. And I'm not saying he can't help, but like, if you're bringing him here for 1 year, like, why?
I don't know. It's just the idea of absorbing a cap space, and he is close to a borderline all-star, and he can be like good, and we can get him for free. I think if the Pacers want to really just get off the cap space for him. And also the other thing, think about it this way: would you want to pay $21 million or $22 million or $25 million for Fred VanVleet if the Pistons are gonna do it, or you want to pay?
Fred VanVleet isn't going for $22 million or $25 million. $20 million is the maximum. And no, I'm not paying $20 million for Fred VanVleet, but if you're telling me pay Fred VanVleet or get Oladipo, I'm paying for. If we talking about paying for 1 year,
2 years.
Pay
2 years. Is this year and next year?
Yeah, see, if that's the case, why am I keeping Vic? I just don't understand.
Well, you're right. You got to build this from the ground up. You can't take shortcuts like we've been doing for 12 freaking years.
Exactly. Like, if it's Lonzo, hell yeah, he's in his third year. He's in his third year, and he's been injured a lot. He's in his third year. You know, if it's any four-year player or younger, I'm taking him. I don't know what year Jonathan Isaac is. I know he just had that horrific injury, but before the injury, hell yeah, I'm taking Jonathan Isaac because I feel like the Pistons are not like these other teams, man. We have shown that we can build our own success. And we were in flux with this Andre Drummond team, and we couldn't win anything. But now we're at a point where y'all got some coach that y'all believe in wholeheartedly, so let him build a squad. Don't just Pistons, no shortcuts. Build your team up, and just leave it at that.
Hey,
we will see.
Big Mike, man, what do you think about this one, man? It's gonna be tough to top that one. But what about the Indiana Pacers maybe going down the rebuild route, putting some of their best players on the block? Would you trade for any of them, and what would you be willing to give up if you wanted any of them?
If we don't have
Oh
to
my
give up
gosh.
that much, then maybe. Otherwise, then no.
Simple and plain. So let's get back into the NBA draft talk because there's a lot of question marks around the Detroit Pistons. It looks like a hot topic right now across social media is if the Warriors will be willing to trade out of the second spot. And I've seen people make their own trades, and some of them have been pretty good about other teams trading up for the number 2 overall pick. So I guess my question would be, do the Detroit Pistons have enough assets that if they wanted to trade up with Golden State, that they could go ahead and get the number 2 overall pick, since that's what we all wanted really anyway? Rob, I'm going to start with you, man. Do the Pistons have enough to trade up for number 2, and what would you give up?
J-Mo, go first.
Okay, go ahead, JMO.
Yes. I was just talking to my cousin, man. He's a fan of the show. He watches the show, and I was just telling him he agreed. Why are you – look, accept it, y'all. The Pistons are never going to be bad enough to get a top 3 pick. Accept it. Accept the reality, and let's move on. Now that we've accepted the reality, if we're not going to be good enough to get the generational player that's usually in the top 3, of course, there's sometimes generational talent's not in the top 3, Bobo, but the Pistons didn't want him either. Yes, I called him a generational talent. You'll see. But besides that, yes, we have the asset. I say give up next year's pick for this year because my thing is about getting that top 3 prospect. I know next year's draft is great, but when we end up with the 9th or 10th pick, who are we going to get? I just don't think the 2 players we get from this draft will be better than that 1 player in the top 3. Like, if we, that's just the way I feel about it. I feel like you mortgage this year to make a power move next year because the NBA is way different than football. NBA 1 player and you changed, and that's what I want. And I think Melo or Edwards could be those players, and I would mortgage next year because I just don't know. Next year draft is good, but it's not gonna be Melo at 9. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way I'm looking at it. I saw somebody say something about Killian Hayes, but I don't really know if we're gonna get him. It's too much uncertainty with that. I don't really know. Like, I want Killian badly. I know how much I love the guy. I got a video on the guy, multiple videos. But I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I just feel like it's just like us to not get Killian when we don't get Melo. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I feel about it. But it feels to me, it's like how many LaMelo balls is really going to come up? Like 6'7" point guards. Whether, like, talent is one thing, but 6'6", 6'7" point guards are rare. Ever. Like, I can name all the 6'6" point guards on my hand, bro. It's like 4 or 5 of them. Like Dinwiddie, Lonzo. It's just not a lot of guys that's 6'6" guards. So a 6'6" guard with vision and handles and scoring ability. Yeah, that's extremely rare. A guy like Melo is not gonna just come up, but that's why I just mortgage next year for a power move this year. Because we gave up Blake Griffin. We got Blake Griffin, right? And gave up a 1st round pick. Well, instead of getting Blake Griffin, let's give up Melo and give up a 1st round pick. You see what I'm saying? And y'all know I like the Blake Griffin trade, but I'm like, bruh, I'm not saying we would have picked Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but it hurts. Like Michael Porter Jr. probably would have fell to us. He would have fell to us, and that really hurts because, oh, man, I believe in Michael. Like, he's going to be a special player. So I'm just like, get the sure thing. Instead of doing a crapshoot, get the sure thing now. Go get LaMelo. If Edwards is their guy, go get Edwards. I don't care, but go get that top 3 pick because we probably won't ever have a top 3 pick for the next 50 years. So y'all might as well just go for broke.
Hey, I'm with them, man. Personally, I would, but Bravo, man, what would you do, man? Do you think that the Pistons have enough to even go up to the 2nd pick?
It's kind of funny. I'm reading the comments. Pistons should take a chance on. I can't even pronounce it. And then Muhammad says, "Who?" This is really kind of funny.
Bro, if you don't get that old Danny Avdija wannabe looking, look. I'm not taking more of these foreign point guards. We gonna see what Avdija do. Now, if Danny Avdija ball out, I'm gonna look up that man's name. But if he don't ball out, stop talking.
Oh man. So would I trade up to get Melo? I really like Melo, man. I think he's one of the. If you ask me, there's a few. This draft is kind of like everybody say weaker. It's not weakest. It's a weaker draft. It's probably like better than 2013, like when we have really low drafted players. But I think they're going to be good. I think. So I think a seventh. I agree with kind of Troy Weaver. We're probably going to get a good player. Would I consider trading up and get like Melo? I definitely consider it. The question is, what would I give up for the future? I don't really want to give up next year's pick because next year's pick is supposed to be a really good one. But again, I can agree with Jim on one thing because especially for next year pick with this COVID thing, there's no really college basketball. We don't know what kind of players they're going to be getting next year. You don't know if this is an excellent draft next year. Are they really going to be good with no even basketball games with this COVID thing? So it's really hard to predict how next year draft is going to be. And I agree kind of with J-Mo because we got to go for the player if you really believe in him. If the Pistons believe in Melo, why not?
Like, who is like a guy who y'all feel like is a starter? He's not a starter. He's just like a starting caliber NBA player, and he's good. Anybody, any position, it doesn't matter.
Jamal Murray.
You think Jamal Murray is just a starter?
I don't understand. Well, what do you mean by question?
Like there's superstars, there's all stars, and then there's starters.
Are you talking about the draft,
players.
or are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about in general.
Oh, everybody's like, there's a lot of starters already. I don't understand the question, man.
Just name one. It ain't that hard.
Which one is a player? I mean, I
said Jamal Murray. That man, borderline superstar. Like, come on. I'm talking about a regular starter. Caliber, caliber NBA player.
Oh, I thought you said star.
I take Eric Bledsoe.
I said
Eric Bledsoe. He's
okay, Eric Bledsoe. As much as I don't like him, would you rather have, let's say Killian Hayes, and let's say he's a perennial all-star, but not a superstar, and then you get you a starter, a solid starter like an Eric Bledsoe level, just a solid starter player, not a star, not an all-star, or let's say you get LaMelo and he lives up to the superstar hype. Which one would you prefer? Obviously, these are hypotheticals, but I think we're in that type of situation where, hey, yeah, we could get a great player. He might be an all-star. And next year, we might get a solid starter. Or you missing on Ja Morant. That's how I feel. And he's 6'7", bro. That's how I feel. And that's the only reason why I would want to trade up. Because it's not like at 8, we won't get somebody that can help the team. I think the next 2 players we draft are going to help the team. But it's a difference between helping the team and moving the needle. And I feel like if you have Melo, we set because Sekou did y'all just see what Sekou was doing? 20 straight 3-point. That boy, I'm going to keep hyping him up until y'all give me all the glory and honor and praise I deserve for saying Sekou going to be that dude. Bro, once you put him, that's the only reason. Like, I understand people don't want to give up the picks, but that's the only reason why. Because I feel like we could get 2 solid starters and maybe one is an all-star, but you're not Melo. You're not Zion, if y'all know what I mean. You ain't Luka. You ain't Trae Young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think we should just give up unprotected pick completely. We could maybe add some protection on the pick. Like,
I would say at least top 3 protected.
Yeah, maybe we can. I don't know if it's really the right way, to be honest. Melo is a really good player. If I wouldn't give up a top unprotected pick for sure, because we could really be bad team next year, and the pick could be.
We're not getting a top 5 pick, Bravo.
Yeah,
it's never gonna happen.
But if other teams
we can have the worst record in the league and get the 5th pick, like that's us.
Yeah, maybe we could do a pick swap goal. If we say next year they have the other team can give us Melo. Let's say Golden State give us Melo. We give them like a young player. Let's say whoever. Let's say if you want to give up like a young player and a pick swap next year.
Mikhailuk would be a player that they would want.
Yeah. The pick swap would do it too. Pick swap, basically you swap their pick with our pick. Basically, we don't lose the pick completely, but we at least get their pick and they get our pick. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really consider doing it next year because I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to tell. But if we get him Melo for our next year pick, at this point, I'm tired. I consider
somebody said, ain't Melo jumper broke? And I'm going to just say this. Wasn't Lonzo jumper broke? I rest my case.
All right.
I don't know what that meant, but okay.
Hey man, Lonzo's jumper was broke and he fixed it. Like when people tell me stuff like he got a bad sex selection, he ain't a good shooter. So John Morant can't shoot. Like that, you can work on that stuff.
Big Mike, man, what about you, man? I feel like I always throw it to you after we go on a big rant here, but do you think that the Detroit Pistons have enough to trade up to the number 2 pick with Golden State? And if so, what would you be willing to give up for that number 2 overall pick?
Absolutely. I'm willing to give up, like JMO said, next year's pick. You know, since we not gonna get no superstar, they don't show us no love in Detroit. We might as well, with the future uncertain, we might as well. You know, I don't have no problem with it. Also, if we don't get like a Killian Hayes or the point guard we need, I'm also not against trading back.
We'll talk about trading back here in just a little bit. Pistons talk. How about yourself, man? Do you think that the Detroit Pistons have enough assets to trade up to number 2? And if so, what would you be willing to give up in return?
I think they do, but the only downside with that is we're going to get Andrew Wiggins in return. I think there's no escaping that. And we were just talking about, why would we want like a Vic Oladipo? I guess there's some trade-offs with trading with that number 1-2 pick if it does come to Melo, and you're probably going to have to give up most of your young core just to get it because Golden State's going to want more shooters to surround Draymond, Steph, and Clay with. I think we can all agree with that.
Absolutely. Personally, at this point where I stand with this
yeah.
one is whatever Troy wants to do, we have to put our faith into Troy. It all depends on who he wants in this year's draft, and we haven't heard too much. He did say there are a lot of good point guards in this draft that he does like. I know that much, but I think that we were all in agreement for the most part that we wanted that top 3 pick, so that way we had a shot at Melo, and if not Melo, then Anthony Edwards. And now after we fell, kind of there. So if we did trade up for number 2, you're guaranteed either one of those players passing on whoever goes number 1. So I think that the Detroit Pistons do have enough for it. I think Golden State would be willing to take on Blake Griffin, but in return, you have to give up a big contract to get a big contract. So Andrew Wiggins would come over, but that is not the end-all, be-all. Andrew Wiggins is not what he was set out to be, but he is not a bum either. He just makes a lot of money, but he could come here and get somewhere between 16 to 22 points a given night. You would have Melo or Edwards, who will be scoring at a pretty high clip because he'll be involved a lot. And then you could go ahead and re-sign Christian Wood and develop Sekou, Christian Wood, Luke Kennard, Mykhailiuk, Bruce Brown, Melo or Edwards, whoever you draft. And then when Andrew Wiggins expires, you have more salary cap. You can do another trade for your superstar or continue to save it up for free agency. So I think they'll do it because in the flip side, what does Golden State really need? They need a center in the worst possible way. You could always find a good 3-and-D guy in free agency, so I'm not really worried about their small forward, but they're going to have Clay come back. They're going to have Steph come back and Draymond. So they really need a center, and I think that either Wiseman or Koru, however you pronounce his name, will be on their list as well. And I think that he will be there at 7, Okongwu that is, and I think that would be a win-win for them. I just don't know exactly what all players they would want from us. I don't want to give up Sekou for it. I think Sekou's got a high potential. That's really the only player I'm not giving up to move up to number 2. Outside of that, they can have anybody else on the roster. But if you go ahead and get it, you are guaranteed the player you are going to be building around with to the next 5 to 10 years. So I think that at this rate, you guys have a lot of great points. The Pistons don't have a whole lot to lose because we have been proven that we will never move up in the lottery. We have only stayed the same where we were projected or we have fallen. We have yet to move up. So unless we are the worst team in the NBA, which we have too much talent in this team right now to be so, the Detroit Pistons are stuck with the 7th to 9th pick in these drafts. So I say go for it, pull the trigger on it. And if it doesn't work, if Melo does become a bust, I'm not going to be mad. You took the shot, and it just didn't work out. So I think the Pistons need to go ahead and risk it for the biscuit and say, we're trying to build something special here and send a message to the fans and to everybody out there that we're not playing around. So on the flip side of that, instead of moving up, because that is a possibility, we have to look at the other end of the spectrum. what would it take for the Detroit Pistons to either trade down or do something drastic with the 7th pick? I would say that if Killian's not available, somehow Kara Lewis and all the other point guards we're looking at aren't available would really be the only way the Pistons are trading down. But Pistons talk, man, what are some scenarios that you think would cause the Pistons to trade down, or is this just a reliable option they have right now anyway?
I think if Killian Hayes and Tyrese Halliburton are gone, and I'm looking at Boston, they have 3 first-round picks, and you know Boston is just infatuated with big men. Let's say Onyeka Okongwu's on that board at 7. Guarantee you they would jump all over that. You get maybe 2, 3 first-round picks just swapping that 7th pick. It's something to think about. I don't know if the Pistons will do it, and I don't know, if Killian is going to fall to 7. I've seen him all the way up to a top 4 pick. You never know what's going to happen in this draft. We could be completely wrong. Melo could slip. You never know. But, yeah, I would consider it.
That is a good point about him slipping. With no March Madness going on this year, who knows what prospect could have blossomed under that, although that wouldn't have affected Melo anyways. He's playing overseas. But, I think there's going to be a lot of good prospects in this draft that, a lot of guys we didn't look at right because there was no March Madness where these guys get that extra moment and opportunity to make a name for themselves. So there could be some really big surprises this year. This would probably be one of the most unpredictable draft classes in recent memory just because of all the COVID stuff that's taken place and changed both the NBA and the NCAA. Big Mike, man, what about you, man? What do you think would have to happen for the Pistons to either trade down, or do you think this is just something that they should consider anyway?
I agree with Pistons talk. I think if Killian and Halliburton is gone, I think they will try to trade back. And I think if Onyeka Okongwu is there, I think they trade to Boston. My personal opinion.
Trading with Boston is not a bad deal. They have a lot of assets. I know they have a lot more picks coming in the future too. So if that's what it takes to trade down, that could be the best option. Bravo, man, I know you talked about the Bravo situation. Bravo, I know you talked about the Boston situation. There we go. Man, I can't English. I'm so tired, man. You guys don't even know. I haven't even drank a Drew Weiser yet today, man. I'm just so pooped out. So I'm sorry about that. But Bravo, man, what do you think would have to happen for the Detroit Pistons to move down? Or is this just an option they need to weigh anyway?
I think we should definitely consider it. It depends on what is available, what other options are. I think if Killian Hayes is not on the board, I don't care about Halliburton. I know you guys know my opinion about Halliburton very well. The Halliburton is not an ISO player. He's a very good, but he's not an ISO player. And in playoff time, big time comes with ISO players. I would definitely consider trading down with the Boston Celtics because they have 3 first-round picks they don't even know how to use, pretty much. And they have the 14th pick, which is a lottery pick, late lottery pick. We can draft Kira Lewis in there, I'm pretty sure. And we can also get like the 26th pick or maybe the 30th pick. I don't think they will give us a couple of 3 picks for the 7th. I really doubt it. I don't think so. They would give us maybe the 30th pick and the 7th and the 14th pick maybe. Another good candidate I heard is possibly the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves had the first-round pick, the first pick, and they have also the 17th pick, which is the Brooklyn pick. We could consider trading with T-Wolves and maybe get like, I don't know who, maybe I consider taking this guy they have on their board. What is his name? I forgot. The guard they drafted last year. What's his name? I forgot.
Culver?
Yes, Jared Culver. I'd consider taking Jared Culver for the 7th pick and get maybe the 17th pick, but I don't know if they're willing to do stuff like that. These are because I don't. If they draft Anthony Edwards, they would need that. They would not need Jared Culver. I don't think so. So, and again, we also don't need probably Jared Culver either because he's a shooting guard and we have a lot of shooting guards. So there's some few options. I think I heard also like the Brooklyn Nets have their pick for Philly. We can consider that. I think I also heard with Philly they'd be considering to trading up for a player and they give us maybe Matisse Thybulle and may give us also their picks, like one of their picks I heard. So maybe that's a consideration. If they give us like the 21st pick and they give us Matisse Thybulle, hey, I'm biting that. I consider it. Matisse Thybulle is a nice player. So it all depends on the scenario and the presence of the player we have there. It all depends, really.
Absolutely. J-Mo, man, how about yourself, man? what scenarios would have to happen for the Pistons to want to trade back, or is this just an option the Pistons need to weigh out anyway?
I feel like we trade back if Killian Hayes is gone. I think we trade back, and I'll be fine with that. And trading back and taking Kira Lewis. You know, I haven't been on the train of wanting to trade back, but if Killian Hayes is gone, then I'm taking Kira Lewis. And a lot of people don't think you should take him at the 7th pick. I don't care where you take a guy if he's a star. I could care less. But if you want to get more assets, get somebody that's not Jared Culver, and then step it up, then I feel like you could actually do some things. I like Kiera Lewis, man. I don't know if he'll be there at 17, but if they draft board tells them that Kiera Lewis is going to fall to a certain place where they can attain him, then I'm definitely looking at getting Kiera Lewis, man. And if Killian Hayes isn't on the board, but if they still want to take Cole Anthony at 7, I'll also be fine with that. So the only scenario I'll be fine with would be if Killian Hayes isn't on the board.
Absolutely. JMO, man, I saved this next question for you. So I don't want to delay it anymore. So I hope you're rested up and you're ready for this one, because we're talking about your boy Dwayne Casey. So in the recent Eastern Conference news, both the Indiana Pacers fired Nate McMullen, and the 76ers fired Brent Brown. Both those teams made the playoffs. Both those teams had high expectations. Both those teams dealt with injuries. Both those teams are now out of the first round, losing in just 4 games. Both teams got swept. JMO, man, with what we have seen with what the Eastern Conference is doing with 2 of the better teams in their conference, does this put a lot more pressure on Dwayne Casey to get the job done?
Yeah, I don't even know what that question was. Like, I don't know how Nate McMillan and whoever else got fired got anything to do with Dwayne Casey. But because if they replace those coaches with better coaches and they keep the rosters, then those teams are still going to be just as good. When I'm looking at it, though, first off, James Willis, I'm not taking Cassius Winston ever. Now, when I'm looking at it, of course, it's like, no. You know what? No. I do this because I'm mad that I'm saying no. Because I want to hold him to such a high standard. But the Pistons have shown me that they not trying to really win like that. So, but I'll tell you this. If Blake Griffin plays 60-plus games, then we better make the playoffs. That's the way I feel about it. If we don't, I'll be upset with Casey. But even with me being upset and not making the playoffs, he doesn't deserve to be fired if we don't make the playoffs. But if they do fire him, you won't see me complain. I think the main reason I want to hold it Dwayne Casey is this. We trying to bring a new point guard into the situation, and I've seen him develop Kyle Lowry, OG a little bit when he was a rookie, Siakam a little bit when he was a rookie, develop Fred VanVleet. I've seen him develop point guards, develop DeMar DeRozan. We forgot about him, right? I've seen him develop guards in general. So when it comes to getting a new point guard, I think, you know, a new point guard going into Dwayne Casey's type of style might be good for him, especially if there's somebody sporadic like LaMelo or Cole Anthony where their shot selection is a little bit off. Now you can groom them up. Now you can tell them what to do. And I think he'll be good to for a player with the ball in their hands. Like a point guard, like Melo, like Killian Hayes, Cole Anthony, Kiera Lewis, not Tyrese Halliburton. When I'm looking at that, I'm perfectly fine with that. So Dwayne Casey, it's not really that much pressure on him. The pressure for me with Dwayne Casey is, if you don't play Sekou, you're gonna get fired. And I feel like that. If I'm telling you, you disrespect Sekou again, and you won't be here. I saw somebody said we need a Chauncey Billups type player. His name is Lonzo Ball. I've been trying to get him here for a couple years, but you know he's still in New Orleans, man. So we ain't trading for Zoe yet. I mean, ask what people thought about Chauncey Billups, the 3rd overall pick before he became a Piston. So you know, hey, but we can't get Zoe, bro. So you got to trade up and get Melo. You know. He nothing like Chauncey though, but you know, so yeah, Dwayne Casey, man, I expect to make the playoffs, but other than that, I can't expect that much. And mainly it's kind of because Andre Drummond is kind of gone, so you're rebuilding now. You just traded an all-star caliber player from your team, and this isn't the type of team that's a free agent destination. So if you trade an all-star caliber player, that's extremely serious because we don't get those unless we groom those, or unless we do what we did with Blake Griffin, give up all that capital just to get one guy. But when I'm looking at it, Dwayne Casey, Drummond isn't on the team anymore, and I don't know if any next year any of our young players will be better than Drummond at his best. But, I like Christian Wood. I like Sekou. I like Luke Kennard. So we're building something, though. We're building. So, once he don't make the playoffs, I'll probably ask for him to be fired. And you'll be like, J-Mo, what about what you said way back when? I'll be like, I don't care. We lost this game to Indiana, and we lost this game to Philly, and they suck. I watched him with them trash rotations. He was bitching Sekou. Probably what I would say. But as of now, man, I'm cool with Dwayne Casey staying 5 years.
Hey, shout out real quick. We got 50 people watching the stream. Hold on, JMO. We got 50 people watching the show right now. Make sure you guys like the video. We are live here on my channel. We are live on the DSA channel, and we are live on Periscope. You can go check that out on Twitter if you follow me over there in case your YouTube's not working or something correctly. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys do come and like the video. Subscribe to all the DSA members, and go subscribe to 313 JMO. He is almost at 1K. Let's help make that happen sooner rather than later. Man, JMO, you went on a little rant there. I'll tell you what, well worth it for a Free Smoke Saturday. Pistons talk, man. What about yourself? With the recent firings of other Eastern Conference teams, head coaches who both made the playoffs but both got swept in the first round, does this put more pressure on Dwayne Casey to compete at a high level and win?
I'm going to have to agree with JMO 100%. I don't think there's any pressure on Casey at all. Look how long it took Gores to fire Stan Van Gundy. I mean, honestly, I think all Philly needs is a coach that's not so weak-minded, and they just need to surround Simmons and Embiid with shooters. Indiana, I mean, I have no idea why they fired Nate McMillan. I guess they want to play a faster brand of basketball. I guess that's a big reason why they fired him, but I see the Pistons being like anywhere from like a 6 to 8 seed if Blake is healthy. But, I mean, I don't think expectations should be too high for Pistons fans this year.
Yeah,
I ain't say that. If Blake healthy, expectations should be high, straight up. But if it's an injury-ridden season, you can't expect nothing. But you get one of the best 5 or 6 players in the East. Expectations need to be high. Like, long as Blake is on this team, they should be trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that's an excuse for us to lose.
I don't either.
I just expect injuries. I don't know why.
Yeah, but you can expect injuries, and he can still play. Like, he played his 70 something games with us.
Yeah,
he's not the same, and he's had a year and a half, his longest time off from any injury he's ever had.
Yeah.
So no, I definitely think he can play 60 games. I'm setting the bar at 60 because I'm being realistic. And if he does play 60, then we should be able to at least get an AC. I'm not saying I want to get beat by Milwaukee, but
Yeah, I'd rather be in the bubble, man. At least we have some TV to watch. I can tell you that much.
bro, I would love if we were in the bubble right now. I don't care. Like, we would be just like Orlando. We would have beat them that first game. They would have been shook, and then we would have kept fighting.
I don't know about all that, but maybe.
I'm telling you, man, Luke Kennard was gonna give him 30 in that first game.
I hope that would have been the case, man. Big Mike, man, let's get your take on this one. With the recent firings of other Eastern Conference teams, head coaches in Indy and Philly, does this put more pressure on our head coach Dwayne Casey to get the job done?
Absolutely not. He hasn't been here that long. Give it some time.
Hey, short and sweet.
Man, that's it. That's all you got, bro.
Hey, yeah, sometimes you don't have to ramble on like J-Mo, man. You can save that breath for another hot take or something.
Hey, man, it's called speaking facts, man. People come here to hear me spit them dictions, man. But yeah, I could have just been like, Dwayne Casey sucked.
We got 51 people who came out to come check it out. Bravo, man. What's your take on this, man? With other coaches getting fired in the Eastern Conference who both made playoffs, who both got swept, do you think yourself thinks this puts a little bit more pressure on Dwayne Casey?
No, not this year. He's still protected, and he's still so. There's no way. So we're not in the position like Philly or Indiana. We're getting out of the first round, or getting thrashed by teams in the playoffs. Not like that. We're in a situation rebuilding. We're considered a bad team, and we're still like a bad team. I can see that, but we're still young. And I can see only one way for us. Like I can see only getting better. I mean, we could be like still worse next year because our player is still young, or next couple of years. But there's only one way. Eventually, we're gonna get better. Eventually, so I do see Casey staying here for longer. Besides, I mean, dude, man, the guy has been an excellent leader during this rough time in 2020. There's no better leader I have seen on the Pistons than him for a while. We gotta take this guy and respect him, and he's done excellent for the community and Northeast, close to Detroit, Canada area. I think he's really good, and we're definitely gonna stick with him. And I like him as a coach. I would love to get like maybe future consideration of adding a different assistant. That's a different topic. I would love to get a different assistant coach, or maybe get something, because when we're reaching playoffs, KC has shown some lack of in-game adjustments, and that's going to be probably the main weakness for KC that gonna get him fired eventually. Maybe that's the only concern for me. Other than that, I think I really like KC for now because he's an excellent coach for us. Maybe when we become close to a really good team, we can just add another assistant coach because KC needs like somebody to help in-game adjustment. I think that's only my take with KC. And probably playing the young guys like Sekou. He's gonna play Sekou. I can see him this year. We will see.
Well, sticking with Dwayne Casey, I'm going to go ahead and read a quote from Dwayne Casey about Blake Griffin that happened earlier this week. I made a video on it. If you have not watched the video, go check it out. It was a good one. But this is Dwayne Casey on Blake Griffin. And I quote, "We would be doing him a disservice if we asked him to not come in and kick ass. Last week he came in and let everyone know he's – oh, wait. Let me try that again. Let everyone know the sheriff is back in town." Well, that's a funny quote, and I loved Pistons Talks comment on it and said that's such a Dwayne Casey quote. So, Pistons Talk, I'm gonna start with you on this one, man. Break it down for the people, man. What the hell does this all mean?
As long as Blake Griffin is here, he's not coming off the bench. That's basically what he means. The sheriff's back in town. He's happy to see Blake, getting back on the court. He actually, flew to LA to Detroit because he's been staying in LA and did a little workout. Casey was obviously impressed. As long as he's here, that's going to be our starting power forward. That's all it means. I don't know why he had to get all fancy with it, though.
I don't know either. I feel like he was just watching some movies about some good sheriffs or something, like some cowboy movies with those old sheriffs, and he was feeling like using that in there, man. Sometimes I do that. There's like a word I'll hear, find funny, and I'll try to find a way to fit it in my day as much as possible. It might have been a Dwayne Casey kind of day today. Bravo, man. What do you think about Dwayne Casey's comment on our star player BG on saying the sheriff is back in town?
I like it. Actually, the question is he gonna play in this mini training tournament for the Pistons with the young guys in September? Is that maybe the case? I would love to see him there. Why not? I mean, the young guys needs to learn from him, and I'm not opposing to have Blake Griffin in there. Exactly, that's what my really take from that point. I would love to see him there because they say veterans players like D Rose and him don't need to go in that bubble, especially, but I think they should because they're not going to be playing forever. Like this is a full year. Blake Griffin from January he hasn't played. He's probably going to be until next January he hasn't played. Why wouldn't he play for a full year? I think it's a good time for him to practice, and I would love what he said. Hopefully he'll be really like giving Sekou, because you would love to see Sekou learning from this guy. That's what Blake can really be useful in here.
Absolutely. Big Mike, man. How about you, man? What's your thoughts on Dwayne Casey saying that the sheriff is back in town on Blake Griffin?
I love it. I'm ready for him to give us a season like the 2018 season, when he had a big season. I think he will. It's been a long year off, so we're going to see Blake Griffin do some great things, and hopefully the Pistons follow.
Absolutely. Heart of the City 313 Jamo, man. What does it mean to you when Dwayne Casey says that our star player Blake Griffin is back and the sheriff is back in town?
My main thought is, man, I gotta completely disagree with Pistons talking about Blake is just a starter. No, that means we winning games. Like he's more than just a starter. He's the franchise player right now. And if anybody thought that we weren't trying to be competitive, like I said, as long as he's on the team and healthy, we're gonna definitely be competitive. And I mean, like I've already been telling y'all, I'ma just I'm usually right a lot on this show, so I'ma just let it play out. Blake Griffin is gonna ball out just like he did 2 years ago. He's gonna be the healthiest he's been, and he's gonna have a really good season. And I think that's gonna lead us to do well. So I don't got no issues with it. But Dwayne Casey's so corny, bro. The sheriff's back in town. Come on, Blake ain't even been here long enough to be a sheriff. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, but if you would have came out and said the deputy's back in town, that doesn't have the right ring to it.
Don't say anything is back in town. you don't have to use that phrase.
That's true. Hey, on behalf of Dwayne Casey, I'll defend him here, okay? When you're live and you say something stupid, you don't always plan it out. So sometimes like you just gotta like complete a sentence, and maybe that's what he came up with by default. It happens. I say some pretty dumb stuff that I don't mean to say. Maybe that's just what happened there. But I will. Even then, I still wouldn't have said that phrase. But whatever. Moving on, because no one wants to talk about sheriffs in town. The Detroit Pistons have a new front office member. They hire Ryan West. I believe he was working with the Los Angeles Lakers as some kind of a player personnel director. He is the son of Jerry West. Pistons talk. I know you probably know the most about the Ryan West hire. Why don't you go inform the people exactly what he'll be doing if you know? And is this a good move for the Detroit Pistons, yay or nay?
I think it's a really good move for the Pistons. And, you know, even if he's like 10% of what his father is in the front office, I think Pistons fans should be excited. And I think what he's going to be doing is he's just going to be like a talent evaluator, like you said, player personnel. So he's probably going to evaluate everyone on this roster. Maybe we'll move some pieces, maybe we won't. But I think, fans should be pretty excited that we're reshaping this front office to be a front office that's sustainable, and we're not going to get new guys. It seems like every other year we're getting a new GM or some crap like that. I think, having Weaver and all these guys calling this front office, it's going to be more sustainable, and it's something that we can build up for years to come.
Oh my goodness.
Jim, I know you see it. It's Free Smoke Saturday. Let it happen. Let it flow.
Bro, I always say no Lonzo slander will be tolerated. Put the comment back up, Drew.
That's on my side, man.
So I told him that Lonzo was better than Chauncey was before Chauncey became a Pistons. Now that's true. He said, let's see, I get that, but I seen Lonzo play both as a Laker and a Pelican. He's nowhere near Chain level. I don't know who Chain is. Chauncey is a late bloomer, but Lonzo is a scrub. So the guy that Lonzo's better than him in year 3, but Lonzo's not a late bloomer. Come on, man. Lonzo better passer than Chauncey. Right now, better defender than Chauncey, better shooter than Chauncey, better player. Stop hating. When we talk to basketball, you can't play favorites and just hate on players just because you don't like them. Because at the end of the day, I don't know how a guy can be a 7-year late bloomer. The man was in his 8th year career and considered a bust in his 8th year. And a guy in his 3rd year is not going to prove anymore, man. Just stop hating and bring some actual facts. Lonzo was the better player. What are we talking about? Come on, man. I can't take the haters, bro. Like, come to me with some basketball facts. What are we talking about?
I had to give you your own spotlight there, James.
Yeah, man. Like, bro, like he sounds stupid as hell. What are you talking about? You just admitted Lonzo was a better player, so now you're trying to say he's not gonna ever get better, and he's a scrub, but he was better than Chauncey, the late bloomer, right? Stop talking to me, man. I'm done, Drew. Stop wasting my time with these people who don't know basketball, but want to come here and talk crazy. It's Free Smoke Saturday. I'm gonna let you know.
You're the one.
We talking basketball. We ain't playing favorites. We ain't talking about players we love and hate. Lonzo's the better basketball player. Why wouldn't he get better? That makes no sense. And I'm talking about him coming to the Pistons. And best believe if he came to the Pistons, he will be way better than he is now. Stop it, bro.
Well, I mean, it's Free Smoke Saturday, man. You got to be careful what you say. JMO, for those guys in the chat, has a couple trigger words. Talking bad about Lonzo Ball is one of those. So if you want to get JMO's attention, if you're scared to comment, don't mention Lonzo Ball in a bad way, or else that will happen. and JMO will get his own jumbotron. So, heads up, man. Heads up, man. Big Mike, man. Again, I keep passing it to you after we go on crazy rants. What are your thoughts about the Detroit Pistons hiring Ryan West? Man, I can't talk today.
From what I've researched on him, it's pretty interesting. I heard he was a big part of the D-Lo to Brooklyn, and I also heard he drafted Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and all them guys like Jordan Clarkson. So should be pretty interesting. Can't wait to see what he does for our squad. I think he's got a really good eye for talent.
I think that's what we're looking for in this front office right now. Is we're getting a bunch of guys right here, right now, who have gotten good players, done good decisions with former teams, and made those teams better. So I think Troy's getting the guys that he wants, and I think honestly we're starting to form a pretty good staff, top to bottom, right now, minus ownership. But even then, Tom Gorse does great stuff for the community and stuff. He just doesn't know basketball the way he should. Bravo, man. What are your thoughts about the West hire? What do you think he'll bring to the team, and do you like it?
I really like it because he's, I believe, like I read an article on him. He joined the Lakers 2009. In 2015, he was promoted to the director of player personnel of the Lakers. So he was like in a position just like Tayshaun Prince right now with the Memphis Grizzlies in 2015. Then in 2018-2019 season, a couple of years ago, he left the Lakers because they changed everything in that time when Magic Johnson left. I really like it because he knows how to scout. Looks like it, and just like for me, I feel like there's just a Piston gain, extra scout in here, extra eye for the draft, and that really means we really have right now a nice talent evaluator in Troy Weaver. We got nice. I still consider Stefanski as a nice asset to have in draft. He drafted Bruce Brown. He drafted Sekou, and I think he did well in those drafts so far. I think adding Ryan West is an additional to us. Besides, the Pistons already scouted, took a couple of scouts this year. I think Roger Ellis. I think there's another one they got. So I think we got a nice scouting team already for the Pistons, and we have a nice couple of experts in Stefanski and Weaver, of course. So I'm really happy about that, and I think it's just going to be better for us in draft. I think I can see this is really an eye for us in draft and getting really good players. The question is, I can also see us getting more drafts in this case because we could be getting more picks because we're just getting more scouts. That's what it means right now. Or even young players who has really slept on in the NBA, they could be coming to us too. Like look at this Justin Patton right now. We picked him up, and I think we know Troy Weaver picked him up already. But I can see Ryan West maybe give us a green light and picking up one of the players from the G League or some other players who were waived from other teams. I really like Alonzo Trier. We could consider him in here. You never know. We will see.
Man, why do you guys say something so controversial after that one? You know how JMO felt about Trier, but before we talk about it, man, I got to shout out Benfo, man. This comment's got me laughing pretty hard right now. It says, Drew, you need some sleep and food, bro. You almost called him Nate McMuffin earlier. Dude, I'm so tired. You don't even know, man. Wherever he goes, I'm calling him Nate McMuffin now. I'm not calling him McMullen anymore. I'm calling him McMuffin. That's funny, man. That's funny though.
I mean, look, man. Unit 2 said it right. Chauncey looked like the bus for first few years in the league. No, Chauncey was labeled a bus his first 7 years in the league. He was in the league for 7 years. My man was averaging 11 points a game. Come on, 8 points, 9 points. I'm looking at it. Come on, man. And Benjamin Foe is hilarious. I'm not a Ball family guy. I just hate the disrespect on Alonzo, man. Top 3 passer in the league. We wish we had him. Hopefully we can get Melo. But end of the day, Devin 99, the Rockets up by 20. They don't need to help them cheat. They up by 20. Dennis Schroeder getting thrown. They up by 20, my guy.
Man,
I did not miss the Rockets talks at all. No.
Hey, man, what I tell y'all gonna be here all year. Because watch them play the Lakers. And they start busting them up.
Only time will tell. Let's get your thoughts on the West hire real quick, Jim. We'll continue talking about.
I love it. because I like bringing in guys who have done something positive. And when I positive, I mean actually draft solid players or just be involved. And I know Troy Weaver is setting out his staff, but there's no person a part of his staff where I was like, why did he go get that guy? Or, ooh, I don't like the fact that he has him. It's always, not always, but it might be some young or middle age or old guy, but he's like, I don't want to say like a hot prospect, but a guy that they knew what they were doing wherever they were. And it's the same with him. I think it's a very solid pickup, man.
Absolutely. I don't know if I have any more questions. So, fellas, we're going to go to this one. Right now, we got some series that are wrapping up into round 2. I know Miami and Boston play each other. No, they moved on. Do they play each other? Yeah, they play each other next, right?
Wait, I thought Boston was done.
Yeah, but I'm talking about round two.
Oh, no, they don't play tonight. Only the Lakers and
No, no. They're playing. Boston's playing Toronto. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Then Milwaukee and Miami would play. So, fellas, my question to you to start this thing off is: how was the first round so far? And do you think that any of these series can go down to the wire? I personally thought the Clippers Mavs would, but now that Kristaps is going to be out with meniscus, I know they said that's the same injury as Blake Griffin. I thought that one could go to 7. But J-Mo, I know you've been watching them, man. What are your thoughts on the first round game so far?
I do think Utah Denver is going 7. And I think I had Utah winning that series, and y'all called me crazy. And I was just like, bro, I don't know, man. Utah is like, I just not sleeping on that team. Yeah, they don't have Bogdanovich, but going up against Denver, oh no, D. Mitch and Gobert be enough. And and I think they're gonna win that series. But I do think it could still go 7. They up 3-2 now. And they should close them out. But, man, that's a very, very good series, man. That was a solid series. OKC, Houston, this is still a solid series. So we'll see what happens. Not if James Harden doing that. James Harden was like, no, this ain't no solid series, bro. What you
That was
not if James
nasty.
Harden doing that. But I still think this is a solid series. Westbrook didn't play though. It's not like he's having a great night tonight, but him just being on the floor, it changes everything for the Rockets. The only reason they playing small ball is literally because of Russell Westbrook. Otherwise, they would still have a center on the team. So I thought that was a good series. Besides that, I feel like the rest of the series were just like, one-sided. Clippers and Mavs, I'm so hurt. KP is out. I'm so hurt. I really thought the Mavericks could beat the Clippers. I said it, and people thought I was crazy. I'm like, they're going to beat them. And if they didn't cheat in game 1, they probably would have beat them. But, they gave Kristaps first technical was stupid, and then the second one was even if they wouldn't say, but that's a tech. I'm like, man, that's the wackest tech I ever seen. But it's been some solid series, man.
I think that series has proven to us that Luka is a superstar. There was a lot of people who doubted Luka still. I think that one game after he rolled his ankle, after he hit that buzzer beater, 40-point triple-dub, that people are really starting to come around to the fact that he's one of the best players in the league now, especially one of the best young players, if not the best young player in the league right now. So,
after Giannis, he's number 2. And I know we got some Jason Tatum lovers. He's better than Tatum too. Sorry.
You
saw what I was saying about Luka after that game. I'm like, yeah, I seen enough.
Are you talking young guys or just guys in general?
You said what?
You talking about just young guys or everybody?
Everybody with Giannis. Better than all of them. Who am I missing that he's not better than?
LeBron.
You got him over.
LeBron's not young. He's like 35.
Yeah.
You said all guys.
No, I said young guys.
Oh,
He said younger talent.
Okay.
I said, why would I be talking about all guys? How could I? Yeah, no, I said he's the best. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you heard it here first, man. Luka Doncic is the best second-year player since LeBron James. Debate with me.
I mean, it's not the dude came in last year, averaged 20 points. This year he comes in and is almost scoring 30, like crazy stuff. Pistons talk, man. What are your thoughts been about round 1 of the playoffs so far? What have you liked, and what's a team you're still pulling for?
Pretty much the first round's been pretty dry, like outside of like maybe like the Utah series, like J-Mo said, and the Rocket series. But I think that's going to be over. I think the Rockets are going to win the next 2 games. But man, when we talk about Marcus Morris being a little bitch.
See, I didn't even watch the last game they played because I knew the Clippers was going to blow him out. So I don't even know that situation. But what happened?
He has been stepping on Luka's foot every chance he gets. Like if he's holding up for a 3, he'll step on his foot. He's going up for a layup, he'll step on his shoe, so he tries to roll his ankle. And then he's like, "Oh, it wasn't on purpose. It was accidental." I was like, "Bull crap, man."
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be dirty players here and there. You know, I don't like that, but I ain't gonna blame them. Hey, man, you hurt? We gonna beat you down. It's playoff basketball. It's no games. You know where the bad boys come from. Like you might not like it because it's Luka, but hey, anything to make sure you're not efficient, man. It can be considered dirty still, but
yeah, I mean,
like I don't necessarily like it, but I get it. Like he doing that. If he was my team, if he was my, I was a Clippers fan, I'd be like, yeah, step on it some more. So we got to think about it from that perspective, even if it is a little dirty, man. But now that's because Luka been talking a lot of shit, and Marcus Morris been getting cooked, and he don't like it. So so that's why he's doing that.
Bravo, what are your thoughts been about 1-1? Oh, God, I almost called you McMuffin.
Wow, Drew.
You don't know. Like, I have not slept well since, like, Thursday. Yeah, I don't know why. But I'm going to power through it, man. I haven't had a Drew Weiser. I'm just really exhausted. And if I drank a Drew Weiser, it would be way worse. So I have to hold it together sober. Bravo, man. What have your thoughts been about round 1? There we go. Round of applause for me. Thank you very much so far.
I really liked it, and it's really it feels like one of the best playoffs we've seen in a while, and especially with this COVID thing and the delay in the NBA, it feels even better than last year's playoff. This is how I feel. The first round is better than last year, and the teams are really good. They're playing really. I think they're playing nice. I like all the teams. I like all the matchups except the Brooklyn Nets. They're not really enough in there. And I don't understand why the Pacers could not really pull a 1 game out of the Miami Heat series. So these are the things that really, like, the rest of the games are really solid. I really like the Blazers in the first game, but you see them, they crumble already. So and all even like the Utah Jazz and the Denver, I think J-Mo's saying probably right. I would love to see Denver winning game 3, and we'll be taking it to 7-game series. And I feel like I want to see the Denver going through, but I do know the Jazz are good, and they have a really good team too. I like Donovan Mitchell. The rest of the series, I think they're all solid. Even you've seen the Rockets games. I think the players are doing nice, very solid from the NBA so far, and even the refereeing has been considerably better this year than last year's because of the fact that there's no fans and it's quiet and the referees have enough time to make a decision. They're not really missing up on blatant fouls except for that Mavs game, first game. But the rest of the games have been solid from the referees. If you guys pay attention to that, that's a huge deal because of the fact it's quiet. So let's hope that the second round is going to be even better and we're going to enjoy the basketball. It's really sad what we're seeing right now in the social and everything and the injustice in the whole world. But I don't know if this is going to help. We definitely need to get this done and stand besides everything what's going on in the world. And I mean, it's hopefully that's going to be good for us. Because this year has been tragic. 2020, I can't really imagine how 2020 the bad this been. I have not seen a bad year for a while, but this is really hopefully it's going to be really the spark and the right thing for 2021. Let's hope for that right now.
Absolutely. Nothing but facts from you, Bravo, as always, except for when you said Magic and Curry were on the same level, that Curry was better than Magic. That's the only thing you said that has been wrong. Rather than that, you've been spitting fire.
Hey, I like Curry, man.
Hey, wait, let's stop there for a second, Drew. I've heard some crazy things that even though I don't like Steph Curry, I'm not going to lie, I don't like him at all. And I didn't like him before he even got popular. So don't even start there. Just certain players you just don't like. Somebody was like, Steph could be the greatest of all time. And I'm like, you're drunk. But what if Golden State get Anthony Edwards or LaMelo and they live up to the hype? How are they not going to keep winning chips? And I hate them. So I'll think about this because I'm scared about it. So, like, think about that, though. And if Curry did win chips, like, is he done winning championships? And if he's not, he could be the GOAT.
Yeah, but
Not now, though. He's not the GOAT at this moment, though.
He's got to get a couple of Finals MVPs, though.
Yeah, but like, even if he didn't, this man win 5 or 6 rings. I'm not gonna care about a Finals MVP. I'm be honest. If you win 5 or 6 rings, like they'll talk about it, but who, bro? You won 5 or 6 rings. Like, what we talking about?
True. Hey, Jim, what day is it?
Free Smoke Saturday.
It is Free Smoke Saturday, peeps. Now is the time to ask any of us or all of us a question involving the NBA or the Detroit Pistons. So when you got those questions, drop them in the chat and we will get to it. In the meantime, if you guys have not liked the video, like the video. Go subscribe to Pistons Talk. Go subscribe to 313 JMO. Go to the description. Instagram and Twitter links are there. DSA channel link. We are live there as well. DSA website and the members to the DSA are all in there. It's a lot, but go check it all out. It is well worth your time. A lot of stuff coming to the website. Stay tuned for that. And then the DSA website or the channel, my fault there, is where you can catch the roundtables and above the rim. So keep that in mind as you guys are looking. Make sure you drop those questions down there below, and we can start cracking these things out left and right.
So y'all ready to talk about how I predicted every series, right, or no?
You didn't have the Blazers taking the game from the Lakers.
Yes, I did. I said they were going to win game 1. I definitely said that.
Oh, maybe
said they were
that
going to win game 1. I
maybe that
literally
was
said that.
CA3 then. Maybe that was CA3.
No, I literally said they were going to win game 1 and then they're going to get shellacked. That's exactly what I said. It's like, no, let's look at some questions. I just had to say that, man. I might not get it right round 2, but I'm gonna gloat round 1 because that's the most amount of teams.
All right, here you go, JMO, man. What are your thoughts about the Bucks recently? They have not been playing well enough to their standards, but what are your thoughts about the Bucks?
Yeah, I don't think that they have not been playing well enough. People just want to put added pressure on them because Giannis threatens their kitty LeBron James. Like, wow, they lost 1 game. Woohoo. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not worried about the Bucks at all. Aaron Bledsoe was hurt, and they were struggling a little bit early on, but I think they're fine. They look like the same team to me. Giannis is still Giannis, so everybody think that he gonna beat them. And when I be right again, and the Bucks beat them, we gonna come right back, and we gonna talk about how y'all hyped up the Heat just like y'all did the Celtics last year.
All righty, man. He also wants to know, JMO.
Oh wow.
Will the Lakers win it all? Who's your finals teams?
Well, whoever wins between the Lakers and the Rockets gonna win it all. So, put it like that.
All righty. Let's go. CA3, welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. How about you, man?
I'm doing all right. Let's start you into this, man, because you're the youngest one on here, so I know this is gonna be a little bit different. Who's your top 5 basketball players of all time?
Are you talking about
do you mean favorites or top 5?
My favorites are just like all just.
Yeah, PD. We need you to specify that, PD.
Well, let's do favorites. Favorites.
Okay. So basically favorites. Number 1 is LeBron James. I would say number 2 is Rajon Rondo. I would say number 3 is definitely Ben Wallace. Number 4, this word is tricky. And go anywhere from here. I don't really know what to say for 4 and 5 because I got but my top 3 is pretty stable. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I could do I could go top 5.
You don't got top 5 favorite players, bro?
No, I mean I don't really have a particular order. I just got a bunch of players that I like.
Well, that's all right because he wants to know the best top 5.
Oh, the best top 5? Okay, so number 1 is Michael Jordan.
Facts.
Number 2 is man. Number 2 is it's tough for me. But I had to say number 2 is LeBron. I would say number 3 is Kareem. I would say number 4 is Magic. Number 5, whew, that's a tough one, man.
Go Russell Westbrook.
I'm gonna go. Nah,
Stop,
bro.
stop
Nah,
it, bro.
we're
Stop.
not doing that. But number 5,
Better hope he don't win a chip though.
I'm gonna have to go with Larry Bird, man. Number 5.
Wow, so disrespectful. I'm going next. Just 'cause that was so disrespectful.
Go for it, Jay. We'll show them how it's done.
I kind of still. I feel like we all should do our favorite players and top 5.
Let's do it. We got time. We got time.
Yeah, because my top 5 favorite players. Kobe Bryant is my favorite player in any sport. Y'all know that. After Kobe, Allen Iverson, then Richard Hamilton, then let's see, Allen Iverson, Richard Hamilton. Then I'm gonna have to go with Westbrook, of course. My 5th favorite player of all time, man. Dirk Nowitzki. I forgot. That's my boy.
There you go.
I'm a huge Dirk fan. Always been. And then top 5 of all time. Yeah, 1 Michael Jordan, 2 Kareem, 3 Magic, 4 LeBron, 5 Kobe Bryant.
All righty. Big Mike, man. What's your top 5 favorite NBA players of all time? And then what are the top 5 players of all time?
My favorite player of all time is Derrick Rose.
Okay.
Allen Iverson next. I'm gonna do KG.
Okay.
Mr. Big Shot. And for the last, I'm gonna do Kobe.
Respect. And what are the top 5 best players of all time?
I'm gonna go MJ. I'm gonna go Isaiah Thomas for my second. For my third, I'm gonna go Kobe. And for my 4th, I'm gonna go Dirk, and then 5 LeBron.
All right, sir.
Wow, you got Dirk at 4.
Wow. Hey, put some respect on
I'm a
Dirk.
Dirk fan. I'm gonna let it slide. I like Dirk, bro. That's my boy.
I like that. I do
4 is
like
kind of crazy.
I do like that though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Pistons talk, man. What's your top 5 favorite players of all time? And then what are the top 5 players of all time in your opinion?
So my favorite players have to be Isaiah Thomas 1. Number 2, I got to show T-Mac some love. Number 3, Jason Williams. I know it's kind of like I just love the way he played.
Okay.
Number 4, love Tim Duncan. And number 5, I got to go with Dirk.
I like it.
Dirk fans, bro.
I like
really.
Wait till you see wait till you see where I put Dirk at, man. Like,
Oh man.
Dirk's my boy. What are the top 5 players of all time in your opinion?
So number 1, obviously Jordan. Number 2, I'm gonna have to go Kareem. Number 3, LeBron. Number 4, Bill Russell, and number 5, Magic.
Alrighty. Bravo. I am very anxious to hear your list. What are your top 5?
You guys are gonna put me on the spot, huh?
Yes, I'm putting everybody on the spot. Favorites first, and then the best.
The first favorite. I mean, the top 5, I can pretty much go with like J-Mo and CA3, but I probably like put Magic off the list and put Stephen Curry in the list. I'll be controversial in here, a kind of stupid way. Okay.
I mean, Mike had Dirk in the list, so I gotta let it slide.
I'm just kidding. No, I probably put not Stephen Curry. I probably put Dominic Wilkins as the top 5 also. I like him too. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like, oh my gosh.
I don't know. I'm not sure really. The favorite number 1.
So you think Dominique Wilkins is like the 5th best player of all time?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
What do you mean you don't know? Like, that's why we
like,
gave you your favorites, because your favorites are supposed to be,
Okay,
all of your crazy stuff, man.
Okay, the favorite of all time. I mean, this is my favorite of all time. Rip Hamilton, number 1. He's the favorite.
Okay.
Better than Rip Hamilton for me. Number 2, I really like D Rose. Number 2. Number 3, Steph Curry. He's one of my favorite too. And number 4, favorite of all time. I like Vince Carter. He's one of my favorite of all time too. You guys don't always sleep on him. He's one of my favorite of all time. Number 5, pretty much Kobe Bryant. I'm gonna go with him. He is one of my top 5. the number 5 of all time, I'm kind of like every day, kind of like believing that Michael Jordan is the best, but I'm really gonna go with LeBron number 1 in here. I'm gonna change things a little bit. Shake some head, whatever. Shake some head. LeBron.
I mean, that's not that drastic.
Man,
You know?
I don't believe that.
How many people call him the GOAT?
LeBron
Wow.
over Michael Jordan, because I just don't like Michael Jordan right now. I don't know why.
Okay,
Just hating on him.
all right.
I love LeBron, bro, but I refuse to put him as a GOAT. I love him.
So you got Brian at 1, Michael at 2, or what?
Yeah, Michael Jordan at 2.
So who's
Kobe
at 3
Bryant,
and 4 and 5?
I'd go like, I don't know. I mean, Magic Johnson is still there. Kobe Bryant is still there. Like 4 and 5. The 5th player, probably Kareem, if you want to put him there. I don't know. It's close to CA3 and JMO's list. I'm pretty sure.
You
I'm not
know,
gonna put
it's kind of
Curry
funny
in
that,
the top best players. I'm gonna put Steph Curry in the favorite players.
CA3 is the biggest LeBron fan on this show, and Bravo has him as the coach. Let's continue, Drew.
Well, my top 5 favorites go Shaq, Dirk, Big Ben, Chauncey, and I don't know who I'm putting on number 5 because I got a lot of favorites. At this point, right now, if you ask me today, Luka. I'm all Luka all the time right now, man.
Okay.
I have a jersey that is on the way to add to the collection. That's how much I'm on to Luka right now, man. Like, I'm rejuvenated as a basketball fan because of Luka. Yeah, like, that's my boy, man. Best of all time, I got 1, Michael Jordan, 2, Kobe Bryant, 3, LeBron, number 4, I'm going Magic, and number 5, I'm going Shaq.
So let me ask y'all something now that that's done. Does LeBron deserve to be ranked over Kobe, Magic, and Kareem?
I mean, you could be. I don't.
He makes assists better than
Like I'm not going to even get into the. I think he might be better players than all of them, maybe. But does he deserve to be greater players? You know what I'm saying? Like AI is better than plenty of people, but he's not greater. You know, like I do think I like Magic is 5 and 4. He went to 9 NBA finals. So, you know, Kareem is 6 and 4. Kobe is 5 and 2. We know about Kobe. Most people might not want to put him over Kobe, but whatever. We can talk about that. I just wondered about that because I do think he's a great, but like reason I have him on like 4 or 5 on my list is because like Magic and Kareem specifically, they got all the rings and all the accolades, just like Jordan do. They got more rings and they got the MVPs. They got it. So that's what I was just thinking about.
Well, you know what? I like that we ended on that note, doing the top 5s. That's a cool little experiment. So that way they know who we like and what we think. So we're going to go ahead and transition to final thoughts. Make sure you guys do go ahead and like the video, subscribe if you're new, and go subscribe to Pistons Talk, to CA3, 313 JMO. Go follow everybody else on Twitter as well. CA3, man, you joined late, but welcome. Glad to have you on the show. What are your final thoughts for the people?
All I gotta say is, you know, I came on the show late, but hopefully I'm on here tomorrow. Next week. But but the last thing I gotta say, Houston Rockets in 6 games. You see the score right here? See the score right here? The 93-67. You see that score?
Dang, Carl, you took my final thought, bro.
You see that score? Aaron Russ is rusty. You see that score? Anyway, I'm
Says the guy wearing a Notre Dame shirt.
Wow.
Listen, man, my mom graduated tomorrow, bro. You ain't wrong.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Bravo, man. Thanks for being on this week, man. What do you got for the people for final thoughts?
Yo, first of all, I suck in best players in the NBA. I don't really do those. I don't like them. I just like I'm really good at my favorite players in the NBA. Don't ask me who's the best. that's my reality, to be honest.
Oh, man.
Hey, good show as always. Keep it going, Pistons, and we'll look forward for next week. Hey, we got to do one day mock drafts, and I think we're getting closer to the draft, and hopefully we'll come up with a plan and talk about the mocks one day.
Absolutely, man. We love having you talk old school basketball. We need a comedy segment for each show, and I think when we do that, you fill that role perfectly. So thank you, Bravo. Big Mike, man, thanks for coming on the show. Welcome. Glad to have you, man. What do you got for the people, man? What do you got to plug for them, man?
just thank you, Drew, for having me on the show. It was nice talking basketball with everybody. And I just want to say the Detroit Pistons will be great soon because of Troy Reaver. And I'm out.
Thank you for coming on, man. Glad to have you, man. You're welcome anytime. 313 JMO, man. What do you got for the people, man? It's Free Smoke Saturday, man. Let them have it.
Well, it's Free Smoke Saturday, so y'all know I'm lit. You know, Drew couldn't join the party today. Don't worry, I held you down. You know. But that's why, hey, man, y'all Lonzo haters gotta chill, bro. Come to me with some facts. But no, this was a great show. It was fun. Bravo. You know, I don't think we should even put you in that situation. I'm starting to feel bad for you. Like, cause it's like you gonna mess up, so you mess up on purpose. So we gonna keep you out of all lists for the time being. But like CA3 said, bro, like I said, I've been right about every series, man. Rockets, tapping them. Utah, tapping them. I told y'all Blazers was gonna win that first game. Bruh.
Pistons talk, man. Are you,
bro? I'm telling y'all, the Lakers in trouble. Y'all better beat the Rockets. Cause they ain't playing, bro.
Hey, I think that well, yeah, they automatically do play them, but never mind. I was gonna say it depends on who won the Clippers or the Mavericks, but I was like, never mind, it doesn't work like that. So I forgot how the playoff seedings worked for a minute. Pistons talk, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back, barely.
What do you got for the people before you get booted out because you're dying over there?
Just hit a like on the video and subscribe to JMO's channel. He's close to 1,000.
Also, go subscribe to Pistons Talk's channel, man. He just hit 300. Go show them boys some love because they make great content each and every single day as well. So, to the peeps, thank you for joining us for another edition of Above the Rim. We will be back next week on JMO's channel as we have a lot more to talk about next week as round 2 should be starting by then and getting underway. More basketball, the better. The closer we are to the Detroit Pistons returning. But you guys stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week. And that's the bottom line because Detroit Drew said so. Peace out.